Hell yeah.
Hello.
We're gonna let some people join in, and then we will get rolling.
It's still, YouTube's not up yet. Now it's up.
Now YouTube's up. For those YouTubers.
Hello, YouTube friends. How we doing?
We are just getting started with the podcast. We're gonna let some people join on in.
Peyton doesn't know what's going on, as usual. How do I share? Oh, there's a friend.
Hey, Taylor. Hey,
hi,
RT
friends.
Studios.
I'm so excited to see you.
Comment if the sound sounds good, like the sound quality.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
ASMR with Jake and Peyton.
Black Widow's the best superhero. Fight me. I think there's something clicking. I think it's gone.
My watch is clicking.
The fact that your watch can be I think there's something clicking. There's a little bit of a delay, apparently.
Alright, I am going to see if that's actually the mic audio. Boom. Okay. Hopefully that now sounds a little better. I don't know if that sounds better or if it was picking it up from the there we go. Okay, yeah. I think that sounds better. Again, for all of those who are joining us, we are going to be getting started here really shortly. Let me turn this gain down real quick. Boom, now that shouldn't be as terrible. I hope everyone likes our setup. Look at this. It's pretty cool. I got a new table for the studio today. Looks pretty cool.
The tarp almost flew off while we were driving in the car.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really fun experience.
It was raining.
Peyton has English skills.
So, yeah. We will soon get sound insulating for the windows. Sound insulation. But, yeah.
Can you hear that?
I mean, we could have anybody as a guest coming on. Just saying, if you want to come on as a guest sometime. We could have anybody as a guest coming on. Just saying, if you want to come on as a guest. Sounds good, Jake. Thanks for the info. Jake. Sounds good, Jake. Okay. Yeah, your vibrating phone is caught up on the...
There we go. It's on Do Not Disturb now for those of you that are texting me.
Looks like we're doing good on both platforms.
I have at least one person here.
There's a K-Chan who's saying Peyton noticed me.
Hi, Senpai. I assume I know who you are.
RT Studios. Could you remind me who you are?
Pretty sure that's Reese.
I that's what I think. Is that you, Reese?
Hi, Zeb. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Zeb.
Hi, Aiden. Nice to have you here, too.
It's Aiden. Tis me, the Frenchiest fry.
Hello, French fry. Hello. Hi. Nice to have you here. Oh, God, there's a lot of you. No.
4, 5, 6. We just had 6 viewers total. We're just gonna let some people roll on in and then we'll get started. It is now 6:01, so we are officially in our time frame to have the podcast, but we're going to definitely let some people join in. We had a pretty big audience last week, and I'm happy about that. I got the Spider-Man look.
I like that we can see who's commenting on what. Like, I like that we can see that Reese is commenting on YouTube.
Like, so Reese is on YouTube, Aiden's on Facebook, Zeb's on Facebook. Most of your friends are on YouTube.
Yeah, that's because... Hi, moral support friends.
One who's studying to be a game designer.
Oh, are you... Wait, is this Reese or Moth? Because then I have 2 friends who are game designers. Bye, Aiden.
Where am I at? I'm at my studio, Zeb, down in Rice Hill. You are free to come here and podcast with me anytime, dude. I want to have guests on. Even if it's like multiple people per week, I would, yeah. Oh, hi. Hi, Chime.
Hi, Chime.
Even though, can you hear me if I knock on the wall?
That would be mean.
Yeah, Rice Hill is where Spiderking Studios is at. I have a whole... this place used to be a laundromat.
Louder.
And,
I mean, I could bash my head on the wall, but...
We have this background, and so it's preventing me from hitting the wall, but yeah.
I'd like to find a way. Where there's a
Hell yeah, next week I'll do it. And we can either do it in person
grab shotgun, there can only be one. Oh no.
We can either do it. We can either do it in person, or we could Rice Hill is a conspiracy.
Okay. It's a concrete bunker. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You're not wrong. It's a concrete bunker. It gets cold here.
It is. I can verify that. It is really, really cold.
I have like 3 heaters on. Only for my room. I just dropped that I live in my studio.
I'm just wondering.
The zoning is all good. I am legal, okay?
He's legal, y'all. Ladies, you hear that? He's legal. Go get him.
Ladies, go and get him. He's legal. They're not worrying about me being illegal.
Should not be allowed to be around people.
I mean, ladies are worrying about me being illegal. I guess. I don't know. I think there's other problems.
If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Jakey boy.
Jakey boy. He's legal. Look. All right. Well, I think we have probably enough right here just to get started and going.
There's a lot of people on it.
We have 4 on Facebook, 5 on YouTube. I think this is probably going to be where we're at as an average.
Because people can watch it later too, right?
Yeah. This will all be recorded. I mean, it's right now being recorded to YouTube. It will, just like last week's, if you go back and look, it's mostly like the whole thing unedited. That's because it has to process, and it takes days sometimes to process, and in order for me to edit. And if I edit it before it's done processing, then
problems.
All of the likes and comments and everything go missing. It's like almost a new video, which isn't cool because I like to see everything that people commented and stuff. So,
yeah, the comments I like to read the comments. That's why I'm kind of glad that this screen's up here.
Yeah. What? I never got the hint.
Apparently, somebody's been trying to get with you for years, Jake. What do you have to say about that?
Sometimes the pendulum swings only one way.
The carousel never stops turning.
I am said pendulum.
I don't know what I am. I'm just like, woo. Is that from the horse?
No, this is the wrong wrist.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
Well, I'm straight, but Jake is hot. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Nobody likes me.
All right. Well, let's get started then. All right. So, for those of you who don't know and are just joining me because I'm live, and you're like, "Oh, Jake's live. What the heck?" This is Tune In Tuesdays, where you get to join in on Spiderking Studios, where I am your host, Jake Tranter, the CEO of the company, and also pretty much the main influencer of Spiderking Studios. We have an amazing team, but this podcast is kind of a passion of mine because I love talking. I love getting to dive into the minds of people, whether I'm close to them or not. And we're gonna be pretty free flowing with this. It's there's gonna be some funny moments. There's gonna be some serious moments. I just want to say that we're gonna stay pretty real on here. There's not really gonna be any beating around the bush with stuff. If there's a serious kind of deep question asked, it's on purpose and it's meant to be thought provoking. And again, I apologize for the road sounds. I don't know if everyone can hear that, but
can people actually hear that?
I don't know. Comment if you can hear the road and it's annoying, but it's annoying me. I can hear it a little.
I can't. I mean, I can hear it, but I'm not logged onto that thing, so.
All right. So we'll get started then. So we have a very special guest today.
Hi.
Someone. How long have we known each other?
Well, Novelty of Fear was my junior year of high school.
It's been close to 5 years, right? 5?
Yeah, at least, yeah. Because I think I'd seen you around prior, but we really connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So around 5 years, around that time frame.
Somewhere in there. And it's been a long time. I think Jake here has been the longest time that I've successfully held a friendship together, so
I'll take full credit.
Excuse me.
I'm pretty good at holding friendships together.
It's a team effort.
Except, never mind, I'm not going there.
RIP.
So we've known each other. I think we've only gotten closer over time.
Yeah.
And so first off, let's just introduce you. Who are you? What's your name?
My name is PEYTON Burnett. I am 20 years old, and I'm probably the most chaotic being that Jake has ever met. So.
Sorry, I just read, I held Jake as a baby. Zeb is
Zeb's having fun,
the
man.
most chaotic.
Zeb
is the most chaotic person online, but when you're in person with him, he's just too chill.
There's no such thing as too chill. Because you have me, who's the most energetic being, and then you have somebody like Zeb, who's chill. And somewhere along the line, you gotta meet in the middle.
Yeah, no, Zeb, in real life, he's just okay. And, you want to hang out? I'm down. But online, I held you as a baby, Jake.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah,
I second that statement. Definitely, K-Chan can verify I am a much different person online than I am with, you. There's, the social anxiety is a little weird.
Well, okay, so... just to satisfy some urges here, Reese, you're cool too. Anyway, so why are you here? You're involved with Spiderking Studios. You're on the podcast probably because you're one of the closer members to Spiderking Studios.
Thank you.
So what has the experience been like for you? From when we first met, getting to know me and my drive for this passion, and including friends and you becoming a part of that. Like, what's that journey like for you?
It's been crazy. Let me tell you. I come from very little experience with acting, like, at all. Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not good at disguising my emotions. Like, if I'm upset, you're gonna know. And it's been so much fun getting to portray characters that are different than me, and learning that experience and trying new things. I really like to get out there and see my friends succeed, and so I'm happy to help along the way, however that needs to happen. And I think Jake here has a really good goal, and not only is it community based, but it's something that I'm passionate in, and I think we got a good thing going.
Hell yeah. So, just a random question.
Oh boy.
This may take up a big portion. This is probably gonna not be so random to certain people.
Jake's gonna regret asking this question.
She really wanted me to ask this question.
I really wanted to ask this question.
So, what's your favorite superhero? Who's your favorite superhero?
Okay, so my favorite superhero is Black Widow, and many of you may know that, many of you may not. Let's talk a little bit about why. So Black Widow has a very interesting backstory. The comments are already starting.
Oh, good God! No.
Anyway. So she has a very rich backstory, I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar with the character and her story, she basically starts out as an assassin who's basically mind programmed into murdering people under this guy's control. And I mock, and she, through all that, she gets out of that line, and she really becomes a better person, and ultimately ends up sacrificing herself to save the world. And the thing for me that really stands out about her character, both in film and in the background, is that she doesn't let her past define her. She doesn't let her background, her history, her problems stop her from doing the best that she can to save the world multiple times over. And for me, that's very important because, not only as a female, but as someone who has a disability, it's really important to have somebody who's not perfect, who doesn't come from a perfect background to really look up to. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing.
So, that's all really cool, and I agree. Having that role model, it's good to have not only representation from the correct ethnicity, gender, everything that there should be, so that everybody can have a role model. Mm-hmm. But something that you mentioned was that having a disability, that it having Black Widow as a role model also helps you in that regard. Mm-hmm. Are you okay diving into that conversation?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
So. I don't want to say that's obvious because that might make me sound like a dick. But
it is obvious. So
you have a disability. For those of you who don't know what it is, do you want to inform them on what that is?
Yeah, 100%. So for those of you who have never actually seen my face before, I have a disability called arthrogryposis. The full name is arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, which basically translates to hook joint. My elbows don't move, my wrists don't move. They are stuck in that position. Both because of bone fusion in the joints. Yes, it's 3 big words. Both for bone fusion in my joints, and also lack of muscle and tendon movement. I can't walk. Oh, thank you. I can't walk without leg braces. They have to be ratcheted into place to hold my legs straight. When I'm not on flat ground, I have to walk, or I have to use a wheelchair. When I play Xbox, I have to use my controller on my leg. I can't use my hands at all. I have to use Basically one pinky finger and my elbow, which makes it a little chaotic when I'm trying to run from dinosaurs, but you know. So I had to mention arc in there somewhere. You know, it definitely provides a challenge. I like challenge, but you know, it might be a little too much sometimes. But you got to do what you got to do, you know.
So you mentioned a little bit about how it affects you. I'm sure that there's a multitude of ways that it affects you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd be here all day.
Me, you know, like everybody has their own problems, I think, and I definitely have my own. But physically, I can't even like put myself in that, like, you know, I can't imagine. Mm-hmm. And so, for those out there like me, how would you put it into words on what it's like? How does it affect you physically?
So, okay. Imagine yourself trying to put up Christmas lights, because it's Christmas. Let's bring Christmas into this. You're trying to put up Christmas lights, and you know you want to get on the roof, but you don't have a ladder. Basically, what it feels like to me is you can't get on the roof. You can't do the Christmas lights. You have to work really hard to figure out how to get yourself onto the roof. There's a lot of, you know, drawbacks and dangerous things, but you know, eventually, even if it looks a little different, you can get it done. And, you know, for me, while it does affect my extremities, everything's harder. You know, I struggle a lot with doing things. And, you know, I mean, I have to have help getting dressed every day. So, you know, it's hard to explain to somebody who's never been in that position. I guess the best way I can describe it is really wanting to do something, but your body physically will not let you. You know, again, going back to the Christmas lights, say you have a ladder, but you can't climb the ladder to get up to the roof. It's a lot like that. You know, you work so hard to try and do something, but you're just not quite there. You have to put in that little bit of extra work just to get the job done. And you know, it's not fun, but it definitely gives you a different perspective on life. And, you know, I think that's the important part. Yeah.
And so surely that also puts on some mental strain too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
So are you okay talking about, like, how it affects you mentally?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, there's a new person.
New person?
River Fox, I have no idea who you are, but yes, it does. It definitely, it makes you appreciate things. You know, mentally, it's a challenge because you really, really want to do the thing, and your body just won't let you. You know, there's so many things that I have desired to do, and you know, it's never going to happen. Not only for safety reasons, but because my body just physically will not allow me to get the job done. And that weighs on me a lot. You know, I see all my friends going out and, you know, doing crazy things like skydiving, and I think to myself, man, you know, I wish that was possible. And then it kind of puts you into a little bit of a funk because, you know, you're trying to tell yourself that, you know, I'm good, you know, I don't need to do these things, but deep down you really, really want to. And eventually, you know, you get used to it. And it's just something that you get used to, as awful as it sounds. I mean, it's something that I can't do anything about it, so I learned to live with it and try not to let it bother me.
So, I mean, you know, there's like times where I'm sure that you know, I mean, you kind of said deep down you want, if you could do those things, it would be super fun, and you wish, it's almost like, you know, why me?
Yep.
Those thoughts probably.
Very frequently.
And, you know, I mean, it's such a rare condition that it's like, you know, is there a question that I have for people who have like rare conditions like that, you know, it's like the 1% or something like that. Do you look at statistics differently now because of that? Do you look at statistics and think, okay, well, that could happen to anybody still, so I don't rely on the comfort of a statistic being low?
Mm-hmm. honestly, I this is gonna sound awful. I try not to look at statistics. As somebody who is the outlier, I have to take a little bit of time and think to myself, if this can happen to me, something equally crazy, for better or for worse, could happen again. So to me, it's just easier not to go by statistics, and rather go by personal experience. I mean, if it's something serious, statistics. Like if I were in the hospital and I had a 10% chance of living, it would be different. But it just really, being someone who has such a rare condition, you really, statistics go out the window because more and more things just keep happening, and to me there's no way to know. There's no way to know what's going to happen.
I see that we have some questions coming up, and I think we should answer them, but I think we should continue this conversation and just kind of put it out there. If you have any questions and you're watching, for Peyton about not only her disability but just disabilities in general, and maybe how to approach somebody with a disability, how to talk to them, something, and I think we will address all those questions and maybe even have like somewhat of a small Q&A here in a second.
Oh my god, they're gonna make me cry.
But something that I wanted to ask is, what would you say to somebody who looks at you with pity? Like, not even consciously, but subconsciously, because I think that's something a lot of people that don't have disabilities deal with. They have this underlying feeling of, I feel really freaking bad for them. Like, what would you say to somebody like that?
Whether or not you're consciously pitying someone, yes, you may feel bad for them, but try not to show it. And I know, everybody's so supportive, and you want to be like, I know what you're going through, and I just want you to know that I support you. But not everyone has, a bad outlook. And by saying something along, I've heard it time and time again, oh, I feel so bad for you, like you must be going through so much, like that's gotta suck. And eventually you get to the mindset where it doesn't suck. And somebody telling you, oh, that must really suck for you, like, oh, I'm so sorry. It throws you back into that mindset. And for me, that's what I really struggle with is, people always look at it like it's a bad thing. And it's not a bad thing. It's, it's not always a good thing either, but people are different. People are going to be different. It's just a fact of life. And, eventually you get used to it, and when people those comments hurt. So my best suggestion is, try and support them without making them feel like you think something's wrong with them. And that's a really fine line to walk. And, you may not get it right all the time, and, don't feel bad. It's just, it's all about perspective. I'm going to send the link to my aunt because she can't get in. By the way, Facebook is having some issues. Some people can't get in.
Oh, so. It's on my personal. Yeah, so the live stream
the YouTube link then.
is on my personal Facebook. I should find a way to change that. I go through OBS, and so you have to pay, or it's a Restream, either one. Restream, I think, makes you have to pay to use Facebook groups and pages, so I do it through my personal. But so we had a couple questions here. The first one was from Zeb, and he asks, if you could change yourself physically, would you?
Wow.
Because that like walks the fine line of like, accept myself for who I am, or if I had the opportunity for a painless surgery that went 100% well, would you take it to be quote unquote normal?
No, because being physically different is a huge part of my life, my personality, my everything. And if you take that away, it begs the question, who am I? What am I? What's my goal? What's my path? And by changing that, it really just could cause some serious problems. So I don't think I would. When I was younger, my answer to that question would have been absolutely 100%. But now, now that I've matured and gotten older, and the world makes a little bit more sense, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's super. I mean, it's really awesome that you have that mindset, I will say. And I mean, it's profound, the things that you're saying. And, you know, I mean, just, do you think that you have a purpose here? Is there, or do you think there's a reason that you are the way you are?
Yes, you know, I think there's a purpose for every little thing, and well, maybe not every little thing. That might be a little too dramatic, but I definitely feel like there's a reason that I'm physically broken, but I don't know what that reason is yet, and I may not know that reason. You know, I think as long as I can do something to better someone else's life, I really think, you know, that's my purpose. You know, even if somebody can learn one little thing from how I do something to make their life just a tiny bit easier, that's enough for me.
Okay. There's another question, again from Seth, and it says, what was it like learning music? And we will also get more into the music later, but how do you find ways to modify playing techniques? You know, how do you overcome traditional playing methods, and how do you apply different techniques?
Y'all are asking the real questions here. Wow. It has not been easy. A couple of you might know from my personal life, I have some serious jaw problems now from percussion, doing marching band and concert bands, and even, you know, just fun playing. I can actually pop my jaw at will. Don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it pops in and out, and it has taken a very, very physical toll on my body. But to me, you know, it's worth it. And, you know, it took trial and error for almost a year, going back and forth on, okay, how can I make this hurt just a little bit less? How can I make this function? How can I make it a little bit easier on myself? And in the end, you know, it's not easy, and it's not really all that much fun, but it's worth it to me. The actual act of playing music is worth it, and, you know, it's touched my soul. I think we're going to get into that a little bit later, but I definitely, with different instruments come different trial and errors. Bassoon has been a big challenge for me because it's so big. But, you know, I think the easiest one for me to adapt has been glockenspiel. Trombone is a close second, but those woodwinds that have, you know, different fingering patterns and stuff make it just a little bit harder because, you know, I can't use my fingers at all. So you get used to it, you adjust where you can, and if you can't, you make do with what you got.
So we had another question on there. And it's actually for both of us. Do we have any regrets in life? I think that's...
You first.
Yeah, I mean, you've been talking a while.
Yeah.
Do I have any regrets in life? Yes. I would say definitely I have regrets in life. Things that I regret doing. People that I regret hurting. But I will also say that the things that I may regret in my life, I don't wish that it turned out different. Just like you with your condition, you don't wish you were different. I was in a brutal car accident and I broke my spine, and that's resulted in a lot of hardship in my life. And if I could go back, I wouldn't change it. Because I am who I am now because of it, and I feel like if I had gone down a different path, I would not know who I was. Mm-hmm. And maybe I would have had a more fulfilling or happy life, but the thing is that this is my life, this is my path, and sometimes you have to, you know, play the game of life. Mm-hmm. You take the curveballs. So to, you know, piggyback off the originality of the question, yeah, I have regrets, but if I could go back and change them, I think not. you have to just continue with life the best that you can with what you're given and the cards that you're dealt with.
I've found in my experience, when people ask you if you would do something different, and this all goes back to the pity thing, they want you to say yes. They want you to say you'd be normal. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody has a different perspective. But who's to say what is and isn't normal? I mean, that definitely has to. Oh boy, we'll get to that. It's you're you. You get the hand that you were given, and you got to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and also, people are going to be watching this after the fact too. So, I guess for both of us, we should probably not react as much to the comments. We'll read them and stuff, but people watching later will be like, "What? Why?"
That's true.
They
Yeah,
just stop.
that's true.
Did I go offline?
We're showing online.
We're back online. So if there was a glitch there for a second, we're back on now. That happened last week as well, so I think it just is inevitable to happen. So
Could also have connections.
Comment if we're good to go now, but we're gonna keep rolling. Okay.
I kind of want to answer the sandwich question.
Yeah, go for it.
My go-to sandwich build. So here's. Please don't make fun of me for this. My favorite Subway sandwich was the crab, the seafood select, and they don't have it anymore, so I don't go to Subway. They don't have the crab sandwich anymore. So, but before they abolished that, it was the crab sandwich with pickles, pepper jack cheese, salt and pepper, and oil and vinegar, and sometimes lettuce and sometimes not.
Did Facebook turn off my...
Facebook doesn't like us.
There's another question on there. It is, how would you go about involving more and more wonderful, diverse people?
I think that's a good question.
I think that's a question for me. I am still going on Facebook, so I'm not sure what that is. So, how am I going to go with involving more diverse people? Well, I'd say that I have a fairly diverse group already, and I think just expanding on that, I don't think that it's and I gotta choose my words wisely here, it's not a mission of mine to seek out diverse people. I think just being an open-minded person attracts people of all kinds, and that's what I try to be. I try to be as open-minded as I can in all areas, whether that's religiously, politically, with any sort of beliefs. And, if you have the mindset of accepting everybody for who they are and whatever their beliefs are, you attract pretty much everybody. And that may create some sort of problems within the group that you're trying to create. But if you're a good leader and a good moderator, you know how to overcome those problems, and you actually use the diversity to strengthen what mission you're trying to accomplish. And for me, the mission I'm trying to accomplish is have an outlet for everybody to embrace art and film and learn, mostly here in Douglas County, but through YouTube and everything, we're going to do it worldwide. And I think we can really create something big here.
People need an outlet.
Yeah.
You can't go through life without expelling at least some emotion, and you really have to, you got to get it out. And I think film and art and music in general is a really important way to do that. Wow, this is really hurting my eyeballs.
I can see. So with these questions being asked, do you feel you've grown from your life experiences in a positive light, or do you feel you're simply enduring the cards you're dealt with?
Whew! y'all asking the real questions tonight. Wow.
That's a good one.
That is a really good question. I feel like, I've grown, yes, in a positive, but I had to get through the negative to do that. There was a period of time in my life where I was on a downhill spiral, like hardcore. And, it's been a journey up and down and up and down. And I finally started coming out of that. And I feel like, the experiences that I've had and the things that I've gone through, both because of my disability and because of some of the other setbacks I've had that are entirely unrelated, I have grown in a positive way. And ideally will continue to grow. But on the flip side of that, I do feel like, I'm just dealing with the cards that I've been dealt. It's not going to be a linear equation. It's going to go all over the place. And the hope is that we come out of it better than we started.
For sure. And I'd like to answer that question as well. I don't know if it was directed at just Peyton or me, but I think a lot of the times it comes in waves. The negative, the positive. Sometimes you're feeling great, and then sometimes it just falls flat on you fall flat on your face.
More so, I'd say more so than not.
Yeah, because that's just what life is. You seek positivity. And you will meet, you will meet negativity. It's yin and yang. You have to embrace both of it. And
expect disappointment.
I wouldn't say expect disappointment.
I was trying to make a reference.
Right? Yeah, that's a reference. But for me, in my life, there have definitely been very dark times where I have thought to myself, well, I've just been dealt really bad, crappy cards, and this is just how life is, and everybody pity me, and I will feed off of that pity, and then therefore I will feel better about myself because people feel bad for me. And nowadays it's more of just a look of life is bad for everybody sometimes, and life for me could definitely be better, but I think it's 100%, no matter who you are, it's about perspective. It's about how you view the problems, and not even so how much you view the problems, but how you embrace the solution. I think the way that you decide to go forward in life, the decisions you make, the effect you are bringing to the cause is definitely how your life will come. I don't know if I'm making sense here. So it's like you have one bad problem and you decide to take a certain route to overcome it rather than let it defeat you. That's really what I'm coming after here. So there's another question. I'm going to stop talking because I'm just rambling.
It's okay, I do the same thing.
What are both your life goals? Wealth, fame, influence. By the way, all questions show on recorded streams so people won't be lost.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, well, sometimes on YouTube, if you edit it before it's processed, it will delete all the comments and likes and stuff. It sucks. So, do you want to take that one on first?
I think you should go first, because I've been talking a lot. Ew.
What? I just drank.
Disgusting.
All right, what are your life goals? Wealth, fame, influence. I would say I definitely want wealth. I want tangible wealth, though, not necessarily money. I want to sustain myself and have a comfortable living situation, not worry about bills, not worry about wondering how I'm going to pay rent or anything like that. And also with my life goals, I want to create my studio. I want to become an influencer. I want to be a philanthropist because I love giving. I want to give to charities and things like that. If I were to become rich, which that is a goal of mine, is to become wealthy. I think anybody who says that they don't care about money, there could be some truth or some false there. It's okay to care about money. Sometimes you have to realize that in society it's shoved in your face like way too much. And so it's okay to want that. I think everybody does to an extent. But for me, I got the studio now and I've got my own living situation. I'm pretty content. But of course, I'm always looking at the next horizon. I'm a very future-oriented thinker. And so I'm always thinking about, okay, how can I get to where I want to be? And where I want to be is, I want to be big. I want the studio to be big. I want us to be impacting a lot of lives. I want to be making content that is watchable and enjoyed, and to create opportunities for people. For the community here that we have, I want to one day have a studio that not only acts as a studio, but also kind of like a community theater, but for film. And so anybody can walk in off the street and not have any major in art or film or anything, and they can use it as a learning experience. But I also, on the outside of that, want to have kind of a community center in a way, like a gaming area outside skate park, maybe even an arcade, that sort of thing. I want to have the bigger picture of just offering more to this community, and I think that would be really cool. Did you want to take that question on?
Yeah, my answer's not going to be as long-winded as yours because I don't have as much to say about it. Me too, usually.
Everybody, I think I get that from my dad, who's watching, by the way, I think.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think my aunt's here somewhere. I think she finally made it in. No, for me, yeah. No, for me, money is nice, but it's really about helping people. I mentioned a little bit earlier, but I think if I can do something to help one person, even if it's just some random person in the middle of nowhere, I don't know. I think if I can do one thing to help a person, then I'm doing my thing right. And for me, it's about making the biggest and most productive impact that I can. Helping people is really my goal, both with music and future film stuff.
So my dad actually commented, life is a journey of many steps that bring you to the place where you are at now. Everything prepares you. Sorry, I'm squinting now too. Everything prepares you.
It's really hard to read.
It's what you do with it. Remember that rock from your brother when you were younger. Yeah. When I was like 4 or 5, I think.
This is gonna be a good story.
My brother and I were playing in the front yard of my mom's house, and I don't remember exactly what led up to the moment, but he wound up throwing a rock at the back of my head. Yeah, it was bad. I had to go to the hospital to get stitches and everything. Staples, actually. It's in the back of my head. Anybody who sees me with my hair shaved, you can see the scar there still.
I mean, what are brothers for if not for, physically and emotionally torturing you?
But I think what my dad is getting at is, I was in an accident, the same accident I talked about a little bit earlier, and I whacked my head, and I had to get staples and everything just the same. And it's almost like, life is preparing you for those big head bonks that you're going to experience along the way.
You have
he just randomly decided to throw the rock over the fence, but I didn't quite make it. It came down on your. He was trying to throw it over the fence, I guess. That's his excuse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, question for Jake. In regards to diversity, do you believe cultural, ethnic, and religious differences in group projects and work benefit or hinder the group's overall goal and viewpoints? Okay, sorry, I'm slow when I read something.
It's also really far away.
Yeah. I definitely believe that having a diverse crowd that you're working with it can definitely bring both. It can bring both, I think. I don't think it necessarily hinders the productivity or the overall goal because, like I said earlier, I have a pretty diverse group myself with my studio, and we're doing pretty good. I think having diversity definitely helps you move forward because you have thoughts from different perspectives that not everybody thinks about, like what it's like to be disabled. You know, if it wasn't for Peyton, I would not have even considered a studio that had steps leading up to it. You know, it's little things like that, and making it available and accessible and things like that. And it's just having her in my life planted that seed that of things that I don't normally think about, and just having different forms of diversity helps you with that. Mm-hmm. It's good to have that.
I think we should probably answer one or two more questions and then save the rest of them for the end because we're already...
Yeah, we're definitely getting there.
We haven't even gotten to the juicy part yet.
If you reach the Star Wars...
Zeb has a decent question.
Who? What?
Zeb. I want to read a question.
Go for it.
If you were given $1 million and had 1 hour to spend it, how would you? I'm going to go first. So, I have a serious question and a not serious question. Serious question, I would buy a house. Simple as that.
Serious answer.
Serious answer, yeah. Serious answer, I would buy a house. Nice place to live. And then I would put the rest of it towards a caregiver. Not like it would be hard because I would only have an hour. But instruments. But we're still in a serious answer here. No, I would buy a decent house that's accessible, and the rest of it would go towards a caregiver so that I can at least, function. As for the not serious answer, instruments, Black Widow stuff, and probably a horse would be kind of cool. You could buy a lot of bassoons for $1 million. Let me tell you.
If I had $1 million, and what's the time frame?
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Jeez, I don't know what would I do with that much money. If I had $1 million,
Yep. K-Chan's also right.
I would definitely not only pay off my own debts, so my truck. That's it. I'm very proud of the fact that I don't have many debts.
That's a good thing to be proud of. I mean,
I would definitely pay my dad back, and Jamie.
I'm sorry, Paul. The comment. That's about right.
But I would also indulge in myself a little. I would get a studio probably, and
we have a studio.
Like I would get
you mean a big boy studio, like a huge.
Yeah, I'll just scour. I mean, I only have an hour, but I'll scour the internet and be like, whoa.
Doesn't have to be in Oregon either.
Yeah, you're right. Let's stop reacting to the comments.
I'm sorry, no, I see Florence Pugh and I'm, tunnel vision over here.
Alright, so let's kind of transition now. So we've been talking really deep and I'm getting exhausted.
Yeah, but I think type your questions in. We can answer them. When
we will go back to some Q&A afterward, and so type away if you have any more questions of any kind for either of us, and we'll definitely get back to you.
I want to answer River Fox's real quick. So, who is your favorite fictional character and why? I refer you to my answer from earlier.
We went over this.
Black
Rewatch
Widow.
this podcast.
Black Widow. No, Black Widow. You know, that's that. Or some random person from The Hobbit, because The Hobbit means a lot to me too. Anyway, moving on. I'll shut up now.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of transition here and talk about a project of ours that we've been doing. Death with Dignity. Death with Dignity is our most recent film, and it's been really good. I'd say there's been a lot of success happening from it, and it's already sold out. We're showing it at Roseburg Cinema. It's already sold out, and
It's sold out in like a week.
Yeah, and I think we're going to go forward with another set of showings.
Good. I'll be there.
Yeah.
You guys should be there too.
And I think we're going to aim for the end of January. Also in the realm of Death with Dignity, people still haven't figured out that we're sold out and have been trying to buy tickets. We're all doing it on our website. It's all on SpiderkingStudios.com. If you type that out right now, you're going to be met with a 404 page. And that's because our website is currently being updated. We are going through the process of creating a new website, and it's going to look fancy. It's going to be really cool, much better than our previous one. The website builder that I've been using, it's a really nice website builder, but it's all done on my phone, so it's really hard to update things and make it look exactly how I want it. Plus, when I try to put films on there, I have to do it all from my phone. And what are you sighing about?
I took it. Am I not allowed to breathe?
Of Jake talking.
No, I finally figured out that I was going to fall off the chair.
So, Death with Dignity. We're going to have a website up here pretty soon. And Peyton was in Death with Dignity. So, why don't you talk about your experience with that?
So, that was really my first experience being in a film that has made it off the cutting board. And it was a really cool thing to do. I mean,
another jab at me.
That wasn't a jab.
It hasn't made it off the cutting board.
Well,
we all know what happened to Westwood.
The next one's it'll come around again. But no, it's been really cool. I mean, I've gotten to see. I got to do some behind the scenes shots. A couple of them actually made it to the Spiderking Facebook page. But it's been really interesting getting an inside look at the process. First when I first jumped into this, I was like, oh, you just point a camera and you say your lines and you're done. But no, there's so much more that that goes into it, and
Rip J Train.
It was really incredible, and I cannot wait to do more. Like I fully intend on doing this for a while. I'm shaking the whole table.
It's a very wobbly table. I don't know why. There's something about the legs.
There's something wrong.
Somebody asked, how did you create the plot and storyline of Death with Dignity? What inspired it? Yes, my life was the inspiration. No, it's really difficult to work with a genre and kind of a storyline that has been done quite, like a lot, I think. Because the movie itself is about a guy, his name is Tyler, and he's just bored with life, and he decides to hire a hitman on himself to cure his boredom. And that sort of thing has been done before. I personally took inspiration from and this is totally going to make me look like a jerk, I'm sure, that I took inspiration from a Reddit story. And for those of you who know, the day I hired a hitman on myself, it's heavily inspired from that story from Reddit. I didn't actually think that this film would get as kind of big and successful as it has, and so I didn't just copy and paste the story per se. A lot of heavy inspiration came from it. I will, fully admit that. But I wrote the script entirely myself. I created my own dialogue for the story, and I took the original thoughts and ideas from the characters and kind of created my own off of them. And so I think from this point forward, just so I don't come across as like stealing other work, because that can probably be seen as stealing other work, I'm sure, even if it's just an inspiration. I'm definitely going to just be using my own original ideas. Does that make me sound like a pirate now? Am I arguing? Am I arguing? Yeah,
No,
I stole the plot for Death with Dignity. Jake Tranter, conspiracy confirmed. I don't know. No.
Tranter Gate.
Yeah, so it was definitely inspired. I have no pride admitting it, or you get what I'm saying.
No, and I think it also shows good on you that you're willing to, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Not just for this, but for anything. I mean, it just goes to show that you're a good human being. Most of the time. No, I'm kidding.
So,
jab.
A question for you, since we're on the topic of death with dignity. You only saw the final cut once.
I've seen it one time.
But I still want to ask, since you've got kind of a musical brain.
Ooh, my time to shine.
What was your thought process of the composition of music, the soundtrack for that film? What were your initial thoughts, even if you can't pinpoint exact musical moments, without spoiling everything, of course, but
it's going to be really hard to talk about it without spoiling it. So let me kind of backtrack a little bit. I like to watch movies more than once. Sometimes I watch them 13 times, sometimes I watch them 3 times. It really depends. For me, the first watch is a general observation. Second watch is for details such as music and costuming and all the things. And then the third watch is usually like, okay, all of this compiled, what's my view on it now? So having only seen it once, it's hard to pick out specific things. But overall, I think the music is really well timed with the events in the film. There's footsteps that line up with beats in the music, and for me, that stands out. Whether it's the first watch, second watch, 14 millionth watch in the case of Black Widow, stuff like that is like really awesome. And I like soundtrack pieces that really stand out, and they make you think, even 5 years later you're still thinking about these soundtrack pieces. And I think Death with Dignity, even though some of the pieces have lyrics, and that's not like my personal style, it still stands out to me as something that is really well put together. And timing wise, I think everything flows really nicely. The music doesn't distract. There are some films where the music is very distracting. Not always in a bad way, but it takes away from the actual movie. And to me, it's, Death with Dignity is really well structured so that the music doesn't detract, but it still adds to the film.
Yeah. Yeah, my directing style, I definitely think, because I'm the editor for Death with Dignity as well, I definitely think that a lot of my inspiration comes from Greg Nicotero. More notably, like if you watched The Walking Dead, I don't think Greg Nicotero's, I don't think he's the director of the show. I might be wrong on that. I think he was a showrunner. Anyway, they're like in The Walking Dead, there are emotional moments that have just a song over it with lyrics and things like that, and I'm a fan of that stuff. I've definitely applied it to my own work, and so that definitely is in the movie of Death with Dignity. But there are also very heavy, just instrumental musical moments too, and I'm very orchestra driven. I love strings and piano and things like that. I hate the whole techno action thing that is going on in modern action movies. I hate it. So the music that is in Death with Dignity is very, I think, it's got orchestra, and it's all from brain fart. It's all from Artlist, which is a music subscription platform. I have the license to all the music that I used for the project, and I pretty much have the right to it for life, even if I don't have the software subscription. And I made sure to apply the music as much from the same composers as I could, so that I could have the same feel. Because as I've been told in the past, you can tell, I think, if music is not composed by the same person throughout the whole film.
Yep, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
And it's not always fun.
All right, so maybe we can segue now.
Ooh.
So, music in Death with Dignity. Now, what do you think about music in other films? So, like, what is your favorite kind of music that's used? Maybe favorite composers, things like that.
Resist the urge to mention Black Widow again. No, I think some of y'all are gonna think I'm crazy. For me, the most phenomenal soundtrack piece that I have ever come across in film is Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. Yes, it's a kids movie, but you know, both the instrumental, both the instrumental pieces and the lyrical pieces from Bryan Adams are just phenomenal. I think composer-wise, you know, Ennio Morricone, John Williams, those are my two. Ennio Morricone, specifically because I really love the orchestral westerns. The Ecstasy of Gold is my favorite from him, like absolute favorite. But you know, it's a matter of, you know, the mood you're in also can affect your soundtrack choices. One of the ones for me, and I can't remember who it's composed by, which is really unfortunate. But the portals scene from Avengers Endgame, as much as I have to say about that movie. Is it? I don't remember. I really don't remember who it's composed by, and that's a shame. But for me, it's, you know, that there's so much power in a full ensemble like that, and you know, the orchestra hits, and you know, it's it's just amazing to me.
Alan Silvestri.
Okay. Thank you. And you know, it's that in particular is one of those ones where even if you haven't seen the movie more than once, because I stopped watching. I've only seen the whole movie one time. I stop watching about halfway through when I go back and watch it again. But even though I've only seen it one time, you know, that the music just, it pulls you in, and it's one of those that, you know, you can feel what's going on and you can feel the emotion. Hans Zimmer is a good one.
Hans Zimmer.
Get there, bud?
Hans Zimmer. I'm almost freaking throwing up off this bitch. Hans Zimmer is definitely on the top of my list. And I'd say Danny Elfman is very high up there with me as well. And I'd say
Michael Giacchino. I don't know how I think that's pronounced right. He did the modern Jurassic World. I think he did the new Star Trek trilogy also.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's his name.
The top of my list, my favorite composer is Bear McCreary.
Yeah, he did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so, and also Battlestar Galactica, The Walking Dead.
He does a lot of TV, I feel like.
Who else? Murray Gold.
I haven't heard that name.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't. Please don't come at me.
if
I don't
you've
actually
heard-
watch Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I've maybe seen one episode. One of the movies, and I can't remember who it's by again, that really stands out to me soundtrack wise is Avatar, and not The Last Airbender. I'm talking Avatar, like the blue people.
Both are very.
Yeah, they're both good, but specifically when it comes to film, Avatar is one of those that, you know, it's been out for so long, and you know, it makes you feel something. Like it's not very often that I cry when I'm watching a movie, most of the time. But what really gets me is when a piece of music can just reach right in there and attach to your soul, and it makes you think, it makes you feel something, and that's really what music is for, I think, especially in film.
Yeah, when it's done right, you can tell. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think I'm going to jump on this bandwagon here, and I'm going to point this one out. The Joker. Mm-hmm. That film had amazing music, I think, and it really played well. No, I'm not talking about M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender.
I was wondering, I was like, what's the answer going to be to this one?
That one can go into a crate and be thrown into the ocean.
Okay, but M. Night Shyamalan has some really good soundtracks too. Like, not like, I don't know.
Whoever does the
composition for his films are just.
It's a hit or miss with that guy. Like, he's either making a good movie or a really terrible one. There's like no in between.
Did you see The Village?
No.
It was really good. That was one of the really good ones, but the twist at the end, just like, oh. Anyway.
Yeah, so the animated Avatar: The Last Airbender has a very close place in my heart. It's probably my favorite animated show of all time.
Don't hurt me, I've never actually seen it.
Well, you need to watch it. Because
I know.
You're missing out. It's not just a kid show. It teaches you life lessons.
I know.
It teaches you...
I know, but every ounce of my free time is spent on parks, so... Which has a really amazing soundtrack, by the way. I know this is incredibly off topic, but I'm going to mention it anyway. The Ark soundtrack is on point. And that's all
I actually agree. I've heard the music from that.
It's really good.
Something I've noticed, I don't know if you have noticed too, but with zombie movies and games, mostly with zombie games, but like B movies for zombies, it's kind of like the same soundtrack for everyone in a way.
Kinda. I try to avoid zombie movies because the idea of a zombie terrifies me almost as much as the idea of a spider. So, you know, I try to avoid it because it makes me uncomfy.
Alright, so I think just looking back...
Ouch! That was rude. Yeah, no, I know. 200 million times is too much. I know.
So looking back, I don't know if you're a big history buff with film necessarily or just music cinematically, but music in the past of film is very distinctly different than music is nowadays for film, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I keep hearing it's this. Okay. Music back then is very different than it is now.
It really is.
And obviously trends, it changes because of trends and things like that. But where do you see music going, say, maybe 10 years, 50 years from now? Where do you see music changing in cinema? Or even in general?
You know, it's hard to guess the future, especially with something as in-depth as music. But I think, you know, if you look at something, at one of, you know, Ennio Morricone's pieces, and then you look at Michael Giacchino, especially, you know, in the more modern stuff, you can feel it's not as in-depth, and I would really like to see that trend kind of not happen. as you had mentioned earlier, a lot of the horror films, especially nowadays, are turning to more techno, more electronic, and for me personally, that's not really my favorite.
Action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in horror too. Action, it's not quite as, at least for me, because there's a lot of percussion, I feel like, in action films.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's computerized is the thing.
I'm not a big fan of it at all.
No. I think what I would really like to see, and whether or not it's actually going to happen, I don't know. I would really like to see more actual studio recording instead of it all being done on MIDI processing. MIDI processing it's helpful when you use it right. I would not recommend doing a full piece in MIDI, mainly because it just does not sound right, at least to me. But that's also me being picky. So I would like to see more in-person recording, more use of woodwinds, of brass, of strings you had mentioned earlier. That's just not happening anymore. And I think that trend will probably continue, but I'm hoping that it circles back around.
Yeah.
Also, okay. I have a couple of TV show soundtracks I would like to mention.
Yeah, we'll talk about those, but also we're kind of getting into the closing stages of the podcast tonight. So if you have anything you want to comment in the form of a question about Spiderking Studios, about film, about for Peyton, for me, about disabilities or anything like that, now would be a good time to put those in so that we can have an answering session before we close. But go ahead and talk about TVs and TV soundtracks, and then I'm going to open the floor for you to ask me questions.
Oh, this will be fun. Okay, no, so one of the TV show soundtracks that I wanted to mention is the TV show Lost, and some of you have heard me talk about this and some of you haven't. There's a scene in the final episode that has just the most phenomenal soundtrack. We were actually listening to it on the way here, and for me, it's one of those pieces where you can feel the emotion. You can feel what's going on in that scene, even if you haven't seen it. And the name of that piece is Moving On. And, as you can imagine from the name, it's not the happiest, but it is a really deep, deep soundtrack. And while most of it's piano, there's a little bit of flute, string instruments in there. It's still one of those ones, even though it doesn't include a whole lot, it's really deep and really impactful. The thing with TV, at least on a soundtrack level, is you have a lot less time to work with, especially if you only have, 10 episodes in a season like Grey's Anatomy had at one point. So your music has to be a lot more involved, a lot more on it. And, you have such a short time to get that impact out there. It's definitely a challenge. So, I think when a TV show has good music, like Lost, or even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has some really good ones, I think, it just really adds to the impact of the show itself for me. Because let me be honest, if something that I'm watching does not have a good soundtrack, I am not going to finish it. It's just how it's going to be. It's just how I am. So, anyway, that's all I have about that.
All right. So now I'm going to open the floor for you to ask me questions.
Oh, boy.
No matter how many you get, just throw them my way. This is how I kind of want to conclude a lot of our episodes. I want to give the guest an opportunity to ask me questions and interview me a little bit. So.
Oh boy. So if you had to choose between only doing one genre of film for the rest of the studio's life, what would it be and why?
Ooh. It's a difficult one because, I love doing all genres, but...
I know, that's why I asked. Oh, goodness. This chair's
I would say, drama or horror.
Horror would be a fun one.
But more specifically, psychological horror.
Like on a limbo scale, or like bigger, different?
Bigger, more... I don't know where exactly I would pull a reference for that from, but I definitely think I'm good with darker themes, and just like any form of other art, I think that's drawn from within.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that filmmaking is definitely a therapy for me, and so that's why a lot of that stuff comes out. So I think I would stick to what I'm good at, which would be along the lines of drama and horror. I don't know if I could choose between one.
Nice.
Probably
It would be definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
So this one's a fun question. What's your favorite Christmas movie and what's your least favorite Christmas movie? Because, you know, we are like 3 days away from Christmas.
My favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Kidding. I'm kidding. Me and some of my other friends have had arguments about whether Die Hard is actually a Christmas movie or if that's just a thing.
I mean, Jurassic World is technically a Christmas movie.
Uh-huh.
No, there's a Christmas song. In the beginning of the first Jurassic World, when they're getting in the van, there's a Christmas song playing, and the song is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Yeah. So my argument here is, does that make it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Or is it just a movie that takes place during Christmas?
If it takes place during Christmas, it's a Christmas
No.
movie. Yes, it is.
A Christmas movie is a movie that has to have an overarching Christmas theme.
Who says that? Where's that written
Like
down?
Elf, for example.
Where's that written down?
It's in the genre description.
Is it?
I think so.
Pull it up.
I mean, a Christmas movie needs to have some form of Christmas theme outside of it just being Christmas.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
You know, I will gladly take my wrong.
So what are your guys' opinions? Do you think Christmas movies just have to be set during Christmas, or do they have to involve Christmas? Let's get some audience input here. Oh, I hate this chair so much. You have a Nightmare Before Christmas question going on here.
Yeah, I agree. For a Christmas movie, Christmas should be a vital part of the plot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Father.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.
What define Christmas movie? What defines a holiday movie? First, let's agree that holiday movies only deal with two holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay.
There's a whole debate going on here. There's a lot of questions farther up, by the way, so we'll have to scroll at some point.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna look at this anymore.
We will settle this debate later.
That's gonna be the debate on this channel. Christmas movies.
Anyway.
What makes them a Christmas movie or not?
You didn't answer your least favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't even answer either question. Really.
You said Die Hard.
And I joked. That was a joke.
Goodness.
Okay. My favorite Christmas movie?
Oops, sorry.
I'll definitely say Nightmare Before Christmas.
Somebody asked farther up if that was a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a Christmas movie.
I've never
Because
actually seen it, so...
I mean, it could also be considered a Halloween movie, but it's the Halloween town embracing Christmas. And them realizing Santa needs to be out there and doing his thing, and so they finally, save him. And so it's about Santa. And, am I wrong? Is that
I've
what
never seen it, so I don't know. It just sounds crazy.
Yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas.
And your least favorite?
My least favorite...
If you say Christmas Vacation, we're going to have some issues.
Never seen it.
What?
least favorite Christmas movie. I don't know. Jurassic World, since it's a Christmas movie. Boom.
Whatever. I'll yell at you for that later.
All right. And do you have any more?
That's about it.
All right.
9.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a mouse over here, do we?
No, but I'm going to go on my phone.
I think there's Facebook and YouTube questions.
Okay, so.
Rhonda, I think that would be a very interesting podcast topic, and I would love to engage in that debate.
No!
I think that would be a fun one.
All right, let's see here. How many people does Spiderking Studios employ, and are they independent contractors or permanent employees? So right now, there's only one employee of Spiderking Studios, and that is moi. Just because we are not at a point where I could pay the insurance for workman's comp and things like that. Also, taxes for having employees is a whole different ball game. And so right now, whenever I do hire people on, whether it be for a film or something like that, it would be as independent contractors. Definitely down the line, I would love to hire employees and have them be permanent. Everybody who works on my board and everything, they do volunteer their time right now. We are definitely going to get to a place where we can start paying people though pretty soon. It's more of a matter of just driving in constant revenue. Consistency is key, I think, because I don't want to get to a place where I'm making promises that I can't keep. That's pretty much all it is. Thoughts on Silent Hill?
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, I
shouldn't react like that because last time I seen Violent Hill. Oh god.
There's a question about instruments up there somewhere too that I would like to answer.
I think that was on Facebook.
The question was, what's your favorite instrument and what's your favorite piece that involves that instrument? I remembered that because I really wanted to answer it right then.
Go for it.
My favorite instrument is bassoon. I could give you a whole list of bassoon music that I really like, but I'm going to keep it short because we'd be here all night. For me, The Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia, the whole Mickey Mouse thing, animation, really good segment. Mickey Mouse with the broom, and I'm sure I'll be made fun of for this later, but he's sweeping and he decides he doesn't want to sweep anymore, and he uses magic to make the broom sweep for him, and that's when the bassoon comes in. Another one, also in Fantasia, ironically, but a shorter version, was in Firebird Suite. Firebird Suite is one of those pieces that really gets to you. There's a really nice bassoon solo farther down. A lot of Christmas music actually has bassoon in it. Dominic the Donkey is a really good example, which sounds like a crazy song, but there's a lot of bassoon in that one, and I think piece-wise that would be my favorite, just because it's very clear that it's a bassoon.
Can I just take a moment and say, how the hell do we have 14 people on YouTube right now? Like, are just random subscribers or even people who aren't subscribed watching this right now?
I think I brought in at least 4.
There's 5 people on Facebook as well, so this is definitely higher than ever been. Anyway, so here's a question.
I'm just gonna read off your phone because I cannot see.
What movie?
Apparently, neither of us can read tonight.
What movie do you think you would have an easy time redoing and making better? Pretty sure that's directed at me.
Yeah, I mean, I have a thought, but you first. You know what's going on.
So if you have a thought, go for it.
I
need
mean,
to think about this.
This would not be easy by any means, but I would like to see us tackle Jurassic Park.
Part of the question was making it better.
Hear me out on this. The original Jurassic Park.
Still gonna get the shake of the head. What?
Hear me out on this. There's so many tools available now to us
Like what, CGI? The thing that ruined it?
It didn't ruin it. No, here's
Yes! What made the original Jurassic Park great was that they used practical effects for all of it.
Right, but what I'm saying is now with the advancement of technology, I really think not that the original Jurassic Park is bad, because that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. I think the Jurassic Park is phenomenal.
Limbo.
But I really think, as when we have a bigger team and a whole workforce, I really think that we could tackle Jurassic Park and make it more phenomenal than it already is. I mean, we'd have to work hard, but I think it would be fun.
I mean, it's funny that Taylor in the comments mentions Limbo, because the movie wasn't as great as it could have been, and it was pretty slow and yada yada yada. The thing is no matter what, you always look back on your own projects and you're like, okay, yeah, that could have been better. And yeah, I definitely down the line think that there is a possibility we could revisit some movies and make them again. Mm-hmm. That would be super cool. Westwood is a great example of that. We are going to do it again. That's actually going to be on the market. We have a whole universe actually lined out, cinematic universe, and
it's gonna be really
it's big,
cool.
it's huge. I haven't
my chair.
I haven't been shoving it out there a whole lot because I just don't want to get ahead of myself. But and who knows, maybe I'm on.
You have a question, and then there's one about video games.
As an accountant, I entirely understand how that goes. Are you giving charity volunteer tax vouchers to the board, or is that not available in your particular area? Other questions too. Okay. No. And I'm not even gonna beat around the bush here. The problem here is that I'm just not as informed as I should be on certain things. I'm a new business owner and I'm 21, and yes, if you own a business, you should know what you're doing. But I had a dream and I kind of ran for it. So what I am going to be doing here pretty soon is getting myself an accountant, a bookkeeper, a third-party company that's on the outside. You have an issue? What are your problem? What's your problem? Are you having
Fine. No, I'm good.
Okay.
The problem is the wheel is missing its actual wheel.
Oh.
I have to go sideways.
Jeez. Okay.
You gave me the broken chair.
Like the one broken chair.
You gave me the one that's missing wheels.
It's okay.
We're
Well,
good.
so I don't know if that answers or if that makes me look even more not fit for the job.
I don't know anything about numbers, so don't look at me.
Money. I mean, the thing is like the most of the business portion of Spiderking Studios, I have to pretty much a T. I have a business plan. I know where I see myself in 10 years. The only thing is like I'm terrible.
That was my tongue.
I'm terrible at
so many problems.
at taxes and money and figuring that stuff out. Is just very intimidating to me.
It's not fun. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I really am not looking forward to going into the workforce, is because I absolutely despise the idea of learning how to pay taxes. So, yeah, there's that. Can I answer the video game question? Please.
Other than Ark, if you could turn any game into a movie, what and why?
So obviously, if I could choose Ark, I would. But my answer to that question is Red Dead Redemption 2, because there's so many different things that you could do with it, and it would be an excuse to ride horses around on camera. So
That's actually a good answer.
that would be so much fun.
I mean, it's an amazing game, but it has an amazing story. Like,
Have you finished the story?
no.
Don't. It's really sad.
Well,
Yeah, it's that's all I'm gonna say is it's kind of emotional, but that's what makes it, in my opinion, such a good game, is because you get attached. But Also, I get attached to everything, so do it that way you will.
All right. The helmeted knight from Limbo was such a hottie and make heart throb. You should hire him for more projects. The Northwest. I think I figured out who that is.
I haven't figured out. I don't know who River Fox is either.
I
So
started
River
a
Fox,
business
where you are.
not having a clue. I learned as I went along. Sometimes it happens that way.
She's a good photographer.
For sure.
She really is.
That's what I am doing in this very moment. For me, I found out that that consistency is key, and I think putting out consistent content is a very important thing for engaging your audience and showing them that you're willing to put in the constant work.
TikTok is one of those where you have to put in
Yeah.
constant.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm doing these podcasts again, because I want to show the audience that I'm willing to engage with them and also bring on guests and talk about important things, but it's also to help grow the business by doing consistent stuff. Professional option as bookkeeper and business.
I hate that you have a screen that you can look at, and I have to use my bad eyes.
No, and I totally agree that jumping into it without knowing can bite me in the AR or ass later.
Yeah, how you tried to censor it and then just gave up.
No, and I agree, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go and look for a professional accountant, and I worked very closely with one, and it is my goal to get in there pretty much before this new year starts. Pretty much, start the new year with a new tone.
And you'll
just
have
go
to file
forward
taxes for this year too.
Right, and I've actually already started doing that. I'm proud of myself.
Let you go.
Just, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, just getting the weight of the taxes and the money and the numbers off of my shoulders, I think that'll allow me to thrive, I think, with this. And
That is the most true statement I've ever read. The IRS is not your friend.
yeah, and that's what I was just bouncing off of. Okay, well, I think, are there any closing thoughts from you? Is there something I actually know I wanted to ask is if you had a message for the world?
Oh no.
Because this is, I mean, you'll inevitably be a guest on my podcast again, but it might be a while because people are interested. But so if you had a message for the world, whether it be about disabilities or just about anything, like what would you say? What would your message to the world be?
I think the most important thing, both in a professional environment and in a personal environment, is to be true to yourself. You can't get anywhere if you're not being honest with yourself. If you don't know what you want, you're not going to get anywhere. So find your path, stick to your path, and if somebody tries to break you down or knock you out of your path, kick them to the curb. I mean, obviously in a respectful way. But, I think if something is not working for you, troubleshoot it. But if it's not bringing you joy, what's the point, really? I mean, yeah, you gotta live. You gotta pay the bills. But take that extra time and do something that you enjoy, Make yourself happy, make your soul happy, whether that's a hobby or watching a certain movie, in my case. You have to fill your soul up. Find the people that you connect with, and really, take some time to take care of yourself, be it physically, emotionally, mentally. Don't let anything stop you, man. I think that's what I struggle with, and that's what I needed to hear like 2 years ago. So there you go.
Very wise words from Peyton Burnett.
Thank you.
So I think we're gonna kind of end it there. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, rewatching this live stream podcast, chances are that our website is back up. So if you want to go to our website and check out what we're doing, please feel free to do so. And don't forget to go to our store on there. We have a shop, so that's spiderkingstudios.com/shop. And you can grab all of our latest merchandise off of that store. We operate all through Redbubble. They're amazing to work with.
It's a really
super
good
easy.
program.
Talk about not having to do crap. You go through Redbubble.
Still have to
You
design
have to,
it.
yeah. Okay. But anyway, so point is, thank you all very much for watching this podcast. And usually you don't watch podcasts. But,
I know. It's weird having our faces up there.
yeah, no, the interaction with all of you today has been amazing, and you are such an amazing guest, and I'm glad I got you on here.
I really appreciate that.
Of course, we do this every week, so tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for Tune In Tuesdays, episode 9.
Are we on 9? I thought this was 7.
This, I think, is 7. It's an episode of Tune In Tuesdays.
Pick a number.
So, thank you all very much, and we're going to cut it out there. Cool.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo!
I gotta cut the stream. So.